Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, hump day, and time for our very special webinars. Let's see who's coming in the room. Who's joining us today? Okay, and just want to say we got somebody on the telephone. Great. Hi, guys. As you guys come in, just a reminder that we are always, these are being recorded and they will be shared on YouTube. And then our presenters will have access to them there. You can always send people there if they missed it today, if they're not here. You can just say, hey, check us out on YouTube or join the conversation on YouTube. We'd love to have you. And we're trying to build our subscribers on YouTube. Andrew, what are we at now? Like 400, 500, 1,000? When the 413, woohoo! We are growing. We are growing, growing, growing. So, and if you're on it, go ahead, Andrew, can you drop the link to this? Because you can share it with your networks and you can invite them to come be part of the conversation. And you can be a part of today's conversation on aging gracefully. Aging gracefully. I tease my kids all the time and say I'm a woman of a certain age, so I need them to, not do stuff or blah, blah, blah. Because I'm a woman of a certain age. So welcome, guys. All right, so today's webinar is staying strong and positive for ourselves and our children. I'm looking forward to today's conversation with our wonderful guests. So let's keep moving. Hi, guys, as you come in. Well, as you're coming in, say hello and do me a favor and just drop where you're joining us from, right? Where are you at watching this webinar? So these are ways to engage. When you're ready, please raise your hand. We'll ask you to unmute yourself. We want you to be a part of the conversation. So if you say like, yes, I have something to say, we're going to bring you on screen with us, okay? We love that kind of stuff. And of course, you can always chat with us. You can always just chat with us. That's fine. But when you do it, make sure it goes to everyone, because if you don't, it's just going to go to the panelists and nobody else will get to see your fabulous comment. And then please be patient with us. I feel like this is going to be a good conversation, but we're going to try and get to as many people as we can. We got a lot of Illinois people in the room. Woo, woo. Stop, man. All right, let's keep going. Thanks, Andrew. These are agreements. You guys should know them well. If you've been here before, you're very familiar with them. If not, speak from your own experience. Use I statements. So as you're sharing today via chat or when you come on, I statements are the best way to share your experience so that you're not talking about other people's experiences, because their experiences aren't yours to share. Your experience has enough value. So use your own experience, okay, to share. And then follow the golden rule, treat other people the way you want to be treated. So in this wraps up all of our Café agreements, which means we are not giving advice or judging people, because you can get that on social media. But here, treat other people the way you want to be treated. Full presence, please, on multitasking. Okay, we say that, but we do know that you're probably eating lunch, and that's fine. But if you walk away and if you're, doing Candy Crush or something like that, or you're working and doing emails, you're probably going to miss most of the conversation. Don't miss it. Be present with us. And if you need a minute, take a minute. Hey, Wendy, if you need a minute, take a minute, okay? And then come on back when you're ready. And we will be right here. If you agree, go ahead and drop the agree in the chat. I see people doing it. Yay! Yay. Fantastic. Okay, are we good to go, Andrew? Looks good? I agree. Cool. All right, so today, guys, we are talking about aging gracefully. OMG. Is there such a thing? I don't know. I watch TV shows and I think there could be such a thing. I watched my grandma and I think there could be such a thing. I don't know if I'm aging gracefully, but I thought that maybe I could bring some other people on with me, and then we can talk about it together, and then maybe I'll be able to judge whether or not I am aging gracefully, because somebody else might be doing it better than me. So I would like to welcome to the webinar Becky Zakowski, who is a really, really great friend of mine, all the way from South Bend, Indiana. She is a part of the Café community of practice. When I tell you somebody who loves cafes and is like its biggest cheerleader all over Indiana. I got Becky telling people how great cafes are, and I just love her. We connected at a cafe once when I was training her, and we laughed the entire time. And so we've been cool ever since. Hi, Becky. Welcome to the conversation. And then we have Sam Blue, who is all the way from Missouri, part of Vision with Children. And Sam, my fondest memory of Sam is him peeking into one of my first parent cafe trainings when I first started years ago. And there were supposed to be like 30 people in the room. That was our cutoff. But these folks in Missouri were so slick. They squeezed 60 plus people in this training with us. And my fondest memory is of Sam Blue peeking around the corner in the room like, oh my God, all these people are here for this training. And I was like, this is crazy. But Sam has been a ride or die. He's one of our certified training partners in the state of Missouri, which means he facilitates the parent cafe training for us with his network there. And so we appreciate Sam being a part of this conversation. Welcome, Sam, to the conversation. So let's get it. Feel free, if you don't have a lot of noise in your background, feel free to unmute. And we're just going to have a conversation. And to those of you guys who are here with us, feel free to, to comment, jump in, whatever. We love the conversations. Okay, so we're talking. Hi, guys.
Hi, Sarita. Hello there.
Hello.
As we're talking about aging gracefully, okay? And really, let me just say, Andrew's here and he's tech. Woo-woo, shout out to Andrew. I don't even know if Andrew should be a part of this conversation. He's like, Andrew, feel free to add as you see fit, boo. So what do you look forward to as you're growing older? Almost 30. Yes, boo, you almost there, Andrew. So what is the most exciting thing about growing older for you? What do you look forward to?
You just jump in?
Yeah, just jump in.
Okay.
You know how we do at cafes? Whoever wants to go first can share first.
All right. What I look forward to, as I age, peace, serenity, time to myself, time to reflect, time to give back. So many people pour into me over the years. I look for the opportunity to give back, and I understand that, hey, you did something special for me. I want to find a way to bless you, or to give back to you, if not to you, to your children or to your grandchildren. I want to find some way to show my appreciation for how you have made things happen and been a part of my life and made things balance. So those are some of the things I look for the opportunity to give back.
I like that, Sam. That resonates with me, but I'm not so deep. I wish I were so deep. I'm just really looking for it right now. I'm looking forward to like the senior discount. Becky and I were talking about that for a little bit before you came on. And I'm always looking like, is it a senior discount yet? Like, am I at that age? So if anybody out there knows places that offer senior discounts at like 50, can you just let me know? Because I'm super excited about the senior discount.
So I'm looking forward to too. I think I'm aware of myself, not feeling like I have to prove myself so much anymore. So it's like the pressure's off. And the other thing, I'm looking forward to not driving my son everywhere, because I have a son that's just turned 16. So it's still in kind of that second act, that way of parenting. And it's funny, a couple of years ago, three or 4 years ago, we went to Universal Studios and in Orlando on a quick vacation. We were down there like 4 days, but I saw, like, I started being intrigued. When you stayed in the hotel, you would see, you would take a boat to the park, and there were these like boat captains. And I told my husband, perfect as a boat captain. And then we were at Harry Potter Land, and there was a woman serving beer at like a restaurant there. And I looked at her name tag. It was Mishawaka, Indiana, which is like next door to us. And she was in this beautiful long dress. And I'm like, we can do that. I mean, I told my husband, I was so excited. I'm like, we can do that in 10 years. I'm like, you can be the boat captain, and I'm going to come serve beer at Harry Potter Land in a long dress every day. And it was kind of funny. I don't know if we're really going to do that, but just kind of that realization, like, that's an option for us. And so, like I said, I think working, not having to prove myself so much. I can live where I want to live. I can do, I don't know. Some of that is an internal shift, I think. I don't think other people really care that much, but I think I feel more relaxed about it.
I don't know. There is what when you say that, it also makes me think of, and this is so bad because I told you I'm not really that deep, but I think about on TikTok, there is so many like seniors now, you know, older people who are on TikTok, and they can just say whatever they want to say. When you said like no pressure, like I'm like, oh, do I want to be that kind of grandma or grandparent could just say whatever they want to say? You know, like it's like grandparents have no filter. You know what I mean? Like they have no filter. They just can get away with saying anything because they're older. You know what I mean? Like they just, I've already lived as long as I'm gonna live, you know, whatever. I'm enjoying my life. So I don't have to be like worried about what people think or what I say anymore. I can just let it all out.
Let it all out, yeah.
Oh man, wait a minute, Sarita. I don't know about this generation. This is the smart generation. This is the high tech generation. I mean, I got 4 grandsons, and I tell you, I was playing with one of them last night, and I was showing him how to turn on this light with his finger, and he looked at me. He grabbed my finger, showing me how to turn. I tell you, the kids are on these tablets so at a young age, and they're very high tech, and they could show their grandpa a thing or two. Now, I tell you, I don't know. They we got a generation that will kind of want to lead the way, so to speak.
So to speak, no, they are leading the way, not so to speak. They're leading the way, and sometimes I feel like I'm almost getting left behind. I mean, I got to my daughter's house and she was working her lights with her remote control with her phone. You guys know that? I was like, what the heck? Like, it's on your phone. There's an app on the phone where she can change the colors of the lights, and it works with Google. What the? My husband and I were still stuck on Clapper. You know, we get in the bed and we argue about like.
Oh my! What my daughter is saying? Alexis, turn on the light. Alexis, turn on the radio. Alexis, cook my food. Well done. Oh, come on, who's Alexis? You in dinosaur years, I think.
So my husband and I were totally like in the bed arguing a couple of months ago, like who was gonna get up and turn the light off. Like where'd you get the bed? You were the last one. I thought you. And I was like, Clapper. We need a Clapper. You know, like where's the Clapper? We're so old.
It's in the museum.
Exactly where it is. I was like, what the heck? And then my husband's like, you know, we use Google on the phones, right? We use Google on phones anyway. And he's like, I don't want no Google light bulb. And I'm like, why though? Like, why not? You know what I mean? Because he's like, they're all in our house. They're everywhere, you know, like you can phones, right? They're listening. So I'm like, yeah, but they're already listening, babe. So we might as well, just because you don't ever want to get up and turn the light off. I don't ever want to get up and turn the light off. If we get Clapper, if we get Amazon, Google, Clapper, whoever. So then I put it on my phone, and then half the time it doesn't work. So we still have to get up and turn the light off anyways.
And I would be like, let me put my watch on so the steps count.
Oh yeah.
Before I get out of bed.
Uh-oh, she went there. The watch.
That part.
The watch. My wife got 2 watches. The watch. I haven't got one yet. The watch.
Sam, because that's real. That's real. I mean, think about it. If you think about aging gracefully, you're getting older. How has your body changed? Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I am 50. I'm only 50. And yeah, my body has changed so much. that I am wearing the watch now because I know that 10,000 steps a day make a difference. But God, Lee, it's so hard to get to 10,000 steps, right? How, I mean, but here's the deal. I had a watch because I had a watch that was like for, I wanted to use it waterproof, right? So I had my husband buy, he bought a, a gently used one because it was waterproof. And at the time they didn't have another waterproof one out. So he bought it. And, you count my steps while I'm in the pool, right? Like my steps don't matter if I don't wear the watch.
I'm not moving if I don't have my watch on.
This is the craziest thing. When it becomes so dependent on these freaking,
I know.
gadgets. So I don't get the watch, and then the watch goes out on me, right?
Oh no.
And then, so then I go to get another watch, and they're like, I gotta get a whole nother line. What? I'm like, I just wanted to count step. Why can't I just get because it was connected to my phone, so I gotta get a whole nother line.
Right.
I still don't have a watch.
Oh,
and I'm
my.
wondering if my steps still count if I don't have a watch.
I mean,
Oh,
well, that
my.
is something I don't know if that really fits with aging gracefully, but kind of back to the technology thing. Like, I don't like that we don't have choices sometimes. Like, just like
Right.
stuff automatically syncs and automatically is connected, and they don't upgrade old things, and I just feel like helpless against that. And so,
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, it doesn't speak to aging gracefully. It does speak to like changing times, which is a part of,
Yeah.
gracefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because one time I did, people much older than us, Sam and Sarita, but it was funny. One day I had to get a new battery on my watch and went to a Batteries Plus and realized, like, the people who work there, really what they are doing, it's not about changing batteries. It is about advising people who don't have kids and grandkids to help them with this stuff. Like, it really was this stream as I was waiting. I think I was waiting for a laptop battery to get changed. So I was there for a while. Constant stream. Like, and it's like, that could be a legitimate job, is like just helping people who haven't learned their technology because they had to, you know what I mean? Like with me and technology, like that's an interesting to think about as I get older, because I'm not one that's like, oh, there's a new product, I'm going to sit down and learn it all. But because of my job, I learn on an as to need to know basis. And so think about leaving the workforce, that would be, you can understand why people don't keep up with it, because all of a sudden you got to use it, and
and you don't know what to do.
Yeah. So that's like, I guess, something I need to think about for the future. But anyway.
So we did start talking about steps, but how has your body changed since you've gotten older?
I know as my body changed, I had to watch my sugar. I had to watch, my sugar level. I don't take medicine, but I do have my tester. Bring my tester with me everywhere I go, and even with the heat and things, my body adjusts. So sometimes I have to test to make sure I'm good. Oh, I have to adjust. I bring some like extra chips, some extra candy stuff. I don't take medicine. The doctor said you're doing a great job because you mind. I have a gym. I rode in. I do workout. Get on that treadmill at times. I have my bike. I like riding my bike. I'm here out in the park. Yeah. Woo, enjoying this fresh air. Yeah. And so I've learned how to, I had to learn how to respect my body. When I was young, I didn't respect what I was eating. I didn't care what I was eating. I didn't care how I treated my body, but now I'm more conscious of what goes in my body. Some salad, some lettuce, my water, plenty of water. I make sure that my sugar level is okay. I take a small dose of blood pressure measure in the morning. Make sure my pressure is okay. Got a little extra aspirin. If I take a little aspirin to kind of keep the level. So I'm constantly conscious of my health. And even if the heat gets a little bit too hot, I'm gonna check my sugar. Then I may have to go inside, y'all. But but I'm doing good now. Everything is level. I'm constant. As you get older, you need to be conscious of your health.
Yeah, like you don't have to think about it so much. Or, well, if you're lucky, I mean, some people do, but that is something like an awareness. I know for me, I've always been weight conscious, and I've always kind of had weight things, but somewhere along the line, I'm 55. And so somewhere along the line, the last 5 to 7 years, probably even less than that, last 5 years, for me, it quit being so much about appearance and definitely more about my health and realizing, and it was funny, my husband's 6 years older than me. And when I met him and we were talking about houses and he's like, well, I want a ranch house because when I get older, I'm not going to go up and down stairs. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I remember telling him, I'm like, I have never had that thought in my life. I want a 2-story house. I'm going to get a 2-story house. Sure enough, we have a ranch house with a basement. And now I like go down those steps like, oh my gosh. And so it is just like being aware of things. And then I had something else happen recently where I went to a podiatrist for a cyst, but was completely diagnosed with arthritis in my feet. And I was like, and that just really, like, again, there's all these things with aging where, you know, I don't feel like you change that much inside. Like I still have the silly thoughts I used to have. In so many ways, I'm still the girl I always was in my head.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, people see me differently. So I go to this podiatrist. I'm expecting someone older than me. The kid walks in. He's maybe 30. He's pretty good looking. I almost had like a motherly kind of crush on him. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, you know? Was not what I was expecting, but he just like rocked my world. That he's like, when I look at your feet, I think you have arthritis. I'm like, and it was funny. So then the way I think about my feet has changed, where before I was like, shut up, feet, you're fine. And now I'm like, oh, it's my arthritis. And so even like if you try to fight it, sometimes it still has a way. I mean, this is such a cliche, but really kind of sneaking up on you. So now when my feet hurt, oh my gosh, I have arthritis. Is it going to get worse? All these, it's like, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I totally agree because we do have a 2-story home and I spend so much stuff downstairs. I take everything I need with me downstairs and then I'm downstairs and we have a basement. So I'm downstairs, you know, like, okay, well, whatever is down here is going to be down here. And then as we look for our retirement home in the South, I'm like, we're getting a ranch. We're totally getting a ranch because Vanessa said, yeah, those steps are good. You're right, Vanessa. The steps are good. But baby, when I tell you those steps, every time I get to the top of my stairs, it's like 15 stairs. I'm like, oh dear God, like what was I thinking every time? And you're right, Becky. You know, the stuff that changes for me. I mean, my husband and I were talking. I think I almost sprained my knee just turning over in the bed one day. Like, what the what?
Oh, no.
Oh my God. I was like, dear Jesus, what just happened to my knee? I mean, a couple of years ago, and two, I have like a dislocating patella. So my knee pops out. And it did that a lot when I was younger, and I haven't really had any problems, but maybe like a year ago, I'm just like walking to the stove to take my cookies out the oven, minding my business, and my knee just popped. And then I couldn't believe it. It was like 6 months of physical therapy.
Wow.
I was like, you gotta me. I just walked. I was like, first of all, right. And unfortunately, Becky, I'm still at the place of appearance. I haven't gotten to the place if I need it for health yet. I'm just like, I need to lose weight so I can put my heels back on. I don't want to go to short heels. I don't want to put my heels on. I want my sexy back.
You're done with, he said, you know, you're probably done like with uncomfortable shoes. And I'm like, you know, on one hand, it's simpler. I'm like, okay, I'll just go with the comfortable shoes. But yeah,
I'm not ready. I don't want comfortable shoes yet. I mean, I'm already in wedges. I can't imagine going to like, you know, the little kid heel. Like, I don't know. My spirit ain't ready. Andrew said I have Crocs. Andrew, I love Crocs, but I also love my heels because I feel sexy in my heels. And so, you know.
Okay, I have another thing that I hate. I don't even want to talk about this, but like hair is an issue. And like every time, so 20 years ago, if I lost hair in the hairbrush, it was no big deal. I lost hair in the hairbrush, where now I'm like I would have put it back. Like, I would be really careful. Like, it is funny because I And I thought, oh my Lord, am I gonna like hair is something I completely take for granted. I'm like, I don't know. So anyway.
Oh wow, I'd say something about hair.
Yeah.
I got some gray in my hair. I went to the barber and he kind of painted it, he put black in it, and I never experienced that. I went home. My wife, where you been? What's going on? Well, wait. I washed the stuff out of my head. I just want to look old and wild.
Oh, then why?
I never got no more black paint in my hair no more. He did it. I guess he was trying to help me out. Yeah, I looked young. I felt good that day too, y'all. But my wife said, "Oh, what's going on with you?" So I guess you thought I had a midnight crisis. No, an old life crisis, I guess. I don't know. But I was
On Facebook. I haven't met any guy. My husband was like, never. You put dye, like so it looks like you have hair.
yeah.
And I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, I've never met any guy who tried it. My husband was like, absolutely not.
Well, there's powder that I actually bought and it works really well. But like, because what happens with me is just my part gets whiter. And again, okay, so too, you can see I don't color my hair anymore. And that's been a change in the last 2 years. Quit coloring my hair. Part of it was just to keep my hair healthier. Like, because again, I was worried about losing hair. And so then when you have this natural color hair, you have pink scalp that comes through. And there's I just was like, ooh, like that's really hard to see on yourself. And you don't see it unless you look for it. Like you don't see it when you're looking straight on
Right.
but when you do the headshots, you're like, and so anyway, they have a powder that I bought, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a little vain, but it really does like age you. Like I do think there's kind of a balance you got to strike because, like you said, you're not ready to get rid of your gills, and you kind of have to like know what you still want to hang on to, and don't apologize for it.
That's true. I guess because you see, I color my hair, and you're right. For the healthy, I'm like, okay, can I get it colored one more time? Because the gray is disrespectful. Your gray looks really pretty, Becky. My gray looks disrespectful. I'm like, I am not feeling this gray at all.
Oh wow.
At all. And I feel like my hair being dark ages me, makes me look older. And I'm just not ready. The other thing about aging gracefully, and Sam, thank God you don't have to deal with this. But this, I was telling Becky and Andrew, I have a sweater. I've been putting the sweater on and off all morning. Why? Because of hot flashes. 1 minute, I am really good. And I'm like, oh, life is wonderful. And the next minute, I'm like, oh my gosh. See this? I have a fan. See my fan? Because I'm just on fire. 1 minute I'm cold, the next minute I'm on fire. I'm sweating. This lady walked up to me once. I was just sitting someplace and I was like, oh my God, I'm so hot. She literally walked up to me and was like, oh, baby, are you flashing? She said, you just got this, what's this sweat? Just all down my bridge of my nose. And I was like, I am hot. And she picked my hair up for me because it was so hot. She was kind enough to pick my hair up for me. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I thought that it goes away. Like I went into early menopause, maybe like 10 years ago because I had a hysterectomy. And I went through all this. So I thought that was over. So when it came back just recently, I was like, what in the heck is going on? I went to the doctor because I thought something was wrong. And she was like, oh no, baby, it's with you forever. It just comes and goes. I was like, no, I don't like it.
Nobody talks about that. Like it does. They make it sound like it's something you're going to pass through. Like it's going to be,
Right.
I never heard a time, but you think it has a definite start and a definite end. And I don't think it does. Yeah.
She said it does not.
Well, Rita, I beg your pardon. I do deal with that.
Do you really?
Me and my wife fight over that air conditioner. My wife, turn it off. No, turn it off. Turn it off. I go in the living room and sleep on the couch.
Just with her. She can't help it.
Okay. So then this is the question. Does anybody else deal with the air condition fight with their spouse? Because we used to all the time. And now my husband is surprised that I have the fan on more than he does because, but I hated it here for like forever because he would have the air on and I'm freezing. And then we had to get to this middle ground where I was like, okay, by the time you get home from work, because he works outside, so he comes home, he's hot, right? So then I said, okay, so before he gets home, an hour and a half before he gets home, I'll turn the air back on. That used to be it. And I wanted my patio door open all the time while I'm working because, you know, I just like the sun and I love the sun. Dude, now I'm running from the sun. I've got the air on all the time. I sleeping with the window open and the fan on, and my husband's like, finally. He's like, finally, I don't have this fight anymore. Anybody else deal with that? Is it just me? What do you guys?
But anyway, go ahead.
Deal with it, huh? What were you saying, Becky?
Nothing, just the same thing. I mean, and again, but mine tends to be, I really only have that issue at night. And so I have to have it cold at night. Like I know the air conditioning has to be set at a certain thing. And if it's not, I get up in the middle of the night. I can tell right away when it's not. I almost like I noticed last night, I wake up. I've had phases where I don't sleep through the night, which apparently again is kind of associated with menopause.
Yeah.
Fortunately, for most of the time I sleep pretty well, but almost every night I wake up somewhere between like somewhere around 1:30 and I'm hot. And again, I make sure the air's turned down and stuff. And then during the day I get cold. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just learned that.
Yeah,
I just learned that insomnia was a part of menopause. I was like, what the? I mean, every day I was like, why can't I sleep? Like I'm going through these periods. And then someone was like, you do know that I was watching a show. And the lady said, you do know that insomnia is a part of menopause. I was like, what? No, you got to be kidding me. In addition to burning up all day, I'm done with getting older. I'm over it.
Well, I remember when I was about 44 or 45, I started noticing, I don't know, just memory things kind of like, and I think that is like one of the most torturous things. Like every time you forget something, you kind of have, maybe not everybody, but I have this little bit of paranoia. Like, okay, is that normal forgetting or am I slipping, you know?
Right.
So I think when I was probably about 43, 44, I bought this like big tome about menopause, the menopause book and everything. And I looked up where it's talked about the brain. And this book said something like, there's no scientific evidence that connects like menopause and memory challenges. And I shut the book and never opened it again. I know that's wrong.
No, but that's real. I guess getting older, I don't know. Like you guys tell me, I don't think it has to do with like the memory thing. Doesn't necessarily have to be menopause, right? Because prior to menopause, I remember walking into a room and forgetting why I was there. And then I turn around and walk out like, let me try this again because I don't know what I'm, or like stopping. Today I was sitting at the table and I was trying to think of something. I went to write something. And then I was like, what was I doing?
Well, I know, but I feel like I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, okay, is this just like what I've done the same thing when I was 25 because I was just not focusing, or am I having, am I cognitive declining here a little bit? I don't know.
Oh, dear.
I know with me, I'm constantly, I had over 9 children, and we're constantly driving and neighbors, and we're constantly going everywhere. Well, throughout the years, and now when I'm driving, my wife asks, I always ask, where are we going? I'm so used to going everywhere, and in the middle of driving, where are we going? Where are we going? my wife has to remind me where we're going. My kids have to remind me. My grown kids have to remind. Oh, Dad, by the way, we're going here. Oh, we're going to the zoo. Oh, okay. That's all I need to know.
I saw Vanessa's comment about, I love putting something up in a safe spot that now I'm remembering where that safe spot is.
My glasses, money, Vanessa, everything. Yeah, that's the truth. My kids, I found money the other day, y'all. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, what?
Wow.
I was like, where'd this come from? Right?
Yeah.
Like, how long was it here? I was like, this is so cool. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy something for myself. My husband, like, you don't even know what it was for. I was like, that's true, but I found it. So yeah, Vanessa, that's true. That's the worst, because what if it's something important and then you can't find it? You're like, I know I had it. I know I put. Okay, how are you guys dealing with passwords?
Oh no, don't go there.
What is your trick for remembering your passwords? Because there's passwords for every dang thing.
I write it down on the calendar. I take a picture of it. I put it under the bed. I put it in the car. That's I put it on my hand. I put it everywhere. Hoping I don't forget it. Tell the kids, email it to my wife. By any means necessary.
I have a document, just like a pages document. And so it's, Mac word processing. And I literally create a page for every single thing I have an account with. And it's all in this file on my laptop at home. And I tell my family, okay, if anything happens to me, this is where you have to go, because it's all here. But I've gotten kind of lazy, because now, your devices will remember passwords for you, which it's sort of like phone numbers. Like, I mean, it's so funny. I just feel like I have no idea what my mom's cell phone number is, because I just hit the auto dial, because I have no reason. Yeah, I still remember my best friend's phone numbers from when I was growing up, So anyway.
Yeah, same. What about you guys out there in the audience? How are you guys keeping up with passwords? You're right, Becky, because they do now, the phones save it for you, right? However, the phone saves it, and then it's that one time when it doesn't save that you're like, what the heck? And they're like, want us to reset it? No, don't reset it. I won't remember that one either. Like,
Jesus.
Well, I like the reset feature. Reset the
That would be a good
password.
password. Trust in Jesus. Yeah.
Vanessa said, the thing that makes me crazy, you have to use a password. That part, Vanessa, like, use something you haven't used already. What? Like, this is frustrating. I literally started using almost like cuss words for my stuff. Like, what the with all the things, like like, it's too much. Like, that's my password. It's too much, like, with a bunch of explanation points. It's like, oh my gosh, stop asking me. Why do I have to redo these things? I don't know them. And they want passwords for the smallest stuff. I'm thinking, who cares?
Yeah.
If I like to read this newspaper, I need to write a password. I don't care if somebody reads the newspaper.
No, I agree.
Info isn't even there. Right? Is it just me? Frustrating. And I can't really remember half the time where my glasses are. I can't half the time remember where most stuff is, but you want to remember 12,000 passwords. I use an app and I try to keep them there. And then God forbid, when I don't remember, like something, it just frustrates me to no end to have to go and look for, or they have to reset it. Then I'm like, okay, I better put this one down. I better make sure I grab this one, because I'm not going to remember it next time they ask me. Or if you get a new phone, this stuff doesn't pop up. You know what I mean? Or another device, and you're just like in no man's land, the land of no return. I see you, Sam. What you got?
Oh, well, no, I had a group of people walking by me.
Wait, Sam, you muted yourself.
Oh, but I tell you, that mute and unmute by camera and off camera, I tell you, a whole new world, the Zoom world. Well, I think we're living in the world of the Jetsons. You remember that?
Yes.
As their age, it seemed like everything was just high tech. It was a high tech world. It was kind of funny back then, but I feel like I'm living in that world now. I'm Mr. Jetson now.
George
Jackson. Sam, did you say you have 9 children?
Yes, yeah, 9 children.
Lord Jesus.
And a lot of other community kids complain I'm their dad too. I said, just come on, let's come on in.
And how many grands you have from 9
4
children?
grandsons.
4.
4 grandsons.
Wow.
2 of them are twins.
2 of them are twins.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
wow, you
twins.
got a set of twins.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, and they were very smart twins, very high tech twins. They're only 2 years old, but man, they can do almost everything.
Wow.
On the phone.
On the phone and do things. Their dad is very strategic. He's very strategic. His job required very strategic thinking. And I see you really putting that into the boys. He putting they're very strategic. They like looking at designs and lines and just they buy a lot of strategic toys for them. I said, oh man. So I'm dealing with high tech kids,
Yeah.
I did. My daughter is expecting her 4th. My 4th Misha baby, and they can't call me grand for any reason because she had the first one when I was, before I was 40, and I was just like, I'm just not ready, right? I'm just not ready to be a grand. So then I researched all of these different ways to be called grandma in different languages. Okay, so if anybody out there is like me, and you got grandbabies that can't call you grand, drop some names in because she's coming on my 4th and I need some suggestions. I looked up African names. I looked up names in other languages. I mean, everybody's language I was looking at. And I came up with Misha, but here's how I came up with Misha. I looked at the Russian name for grandma, and it was Babushka. But I'm so burnt out. This was before, right? The Google could pronunciate stuff. I just knew it was Babushka. But some kind of way in my mind, I mixed it up with Misha. The Russian word for Misha, for grandma, or for auntie is Misha. I was like, I couldn't pronunciate the name granddaughter in Russian. I couldn't get that right. That was before Google. So then I said, okay, I'll be Misha and they'll be Misha babies. So, and then I realized like, oh, Misha means aunt. But it was too late. It stuck. So I have a Misha baby, a Misha Molly, a Misha Gabby, and now this 4th one that we're praying are going to be twin boys because our family is full of girls. So we're praying that we'll have at least, boys, one twin, one boy. Twins would be great, but I struggle because they cost so much money, Sam. They're expensive. Grandkids are expensive. Do you find it to be true? How do you manage your time? How do you manage your time for your grandkids along with, all your other stuff? Like, where do you fit them into your day?
Tell you one thing, if you don't have a plan, your bank account gonna decrease.
That part.
Yeah, I took my kids to the circus and woo, I just spend till I have no more money in my wallet. I said, I won't do that again. I'm gonna have a plan. I won't do that again.
I saw some parents on Disney saying they spent like $1,100 on a trip to Disney, like buying everything. I was like, what? And you're right, Sam. When they go, I'm so excited just to have them with me. I'm just like spending, and I'm thinking, oh my God, my husband's gonna kill me. Like, where am I gonna get this from? How am I gonna put this back? These kids, they get everything. So yeah. Does anybody else spoil your grandkids mad? Mad crazy? Are we the only grandparents in this chat today? Wow, just you and me, Sam. We're so honored. We're so blessed.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have grandchildren and to share, to spend time with them, and to be in their little world. You know, you have to go into their little world and understand their little emotions and the things that they see. And so it's pretty fun. I like doing that.
How old are your boys? Your
So 2
grandbaby,
years old. I think the twins are 2. Then my other boy, he's 3, and the other ones, they all around the same age, 2, 3, or going on 4. Yeah,
That's
Jaden,
so cool.
Jaden going on 4. Yeah, so but they hung out though about 2 months ago. They was all hanging out, having a ball. It was all hanging out. I think my son-in-law just took them all out. They were just hanging out and having a ball. I said, "Oh, I can't do 4." Well, I did 4 with the help of my son-in-law and my daughter. I could do 4, but not by myself. No, not by
I'm not ready. I'm not ready, Sam, for 4. And Vanessa says she gets them all sugared up and sends them back home. That is the best, Vanessa. The best. Like I sent my home the other day with popsicles. They left out with all these popsicles. And my daughter called me like, seriously, Mom? I was like, well, they wanted them. They needed them because it's hot outside. And she was like, I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, okay, gotta go. Bye. I was like, I hear some interference. I can't hear you anymore. I gotta go. They're funny, but that's like the best part of getting older. I think for me is the grandbabies, the Mishas. I'm finally calling them grandbabies because it was a long time before I started calling them grandbabies. But now too, because I'm a Misha or a grand, if someone asks me how old I am, I say I'm 70. So they'll say, "Oh my God, you look so good for 70."
And Sarita, we're dealing with a different time that our children are more busy than ever in a time that we live in now. The economy and things are challenging, and grandparents have a different responsibility. It's just not just spending time with your grandchildren. It's supporting your children so they can get to the next level, get that home, or do better on the job, or go back to school, doing transition. So we're living in a time where grandparents not only just having fun with the child, but being supportive to your children and making things happen for them.
Yeah, that's true. Everything except babysitting. Only because, my daughter's always like asking, she's always like fussing. Like, where are the grandmas of old? Like, how do you have a job? Like, then you travel all the time. You have grandkids. And I'm like, I have a life because you had them. You had the first one before I was 40, dude. So sorry, I'm not at home baking cookies. When I get home, I will bake cookies every once in a while. But yeah, the babysitting thing is not what she thought it was going to be. Right.
Right.
So, are you guys going to retire? Is everybody still working? You guys are both still working.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And are you going to retire are you going to stay where you are when you retire, or are you looking for are you going to live somewhere else?
That's a good question. And the challenging time that we live in, you're almost just looking for the next week, next day, let alone years ahead. But you're forced to think of years in advance. And I'm looking forward to do something that will be beneficial to all my children, to my wife, and to the next generations, not just myself. I look for a generation. How can I impact their thinking, impact their economy? So I'm thinking in that direction now. So I'm working on investments and doing things that will benefit the next generation, where they won't have to go through a lot of the struggles I've been through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like being rooted. It doesn't appeal to me to move to a new community where I don't have my people there. Sometimes I do notice myself. I was raised in a small town 2 hours from here. And it's kind of funny because I I'm much happier living, like, this community suits me a lot better politically. It's much different.
Mhm.
It's just a much better fit. This feels like my home, but my family are still 2 hours away in this small town.
Mhm.
And I just find myself sometimes, I have a sister 2 years older than me. And I've told my husband, I'm like, well, you know, someday I'm going to live next to my sister. Like,
Mhm.
and so I find myself, I do find myself being drawn more to people than places. I like the
Mhm.
idea of being able to travel more and being mobile.
Mhm.
Um, but it doesn't appeal to me to move somewhere where I'm not rooted,
Mhm.
you know. I mean,
Yeah.
these are my people, this is my place.
Yeah.
So,
I resonate with that, and at the same time, like, I love Chicago during the summertime. I hate Chicago.
yeah,
I don't like because two we only have what? Much like Indiana, we only have a couple of seasons. We have summer and winter.
yeah.
That's it. No fall and no spring. And I've always wanted to retire someplace warm. And the places that I want to retire are where my sisters are because we're so far away from each other now and we're
Yeah.
super close. And I just want to be where because that's my squad. I travel a lot. So a lot of my friends are around the country.
Yep.
And so I want to be like close to my family. But however, when I move someplace else, my Misha babies are not going to be there with me. And so I got to figure that out. So I told my daughter, I'm going to be like Jesus. I'm going to prepare a place for her so she can move down and bring the Misha babies with her. So we'll see. I don't know. I do like the idea of being rooted, except I just hate Chicago winters.
Yeah.
They're not friendly to the aging body. They're
Yeah.
unfriendly to the aging body. So that's one thing. That's one thing because I'm in Chicago and that's not cool.
Well,
And
I
then
do think that is one positive. I mean, it's not the same. Like, here's what I miss about not being around my family is like I'd love to like be able to call my sister and say, hey, you want to go to Target or whatever. Like, I would do things with
Mhm.
somebody that I just do, but like I've gotten completely used to doing them by myself over the last
Yeah.
couple of years. Um, but what's my point of all this? I don't know. I don't remember.
Part of aging.
I know. Oh, I was gonna say, but like you can't, like, it is easier with texting, Zoom
Mhm.
calls and all that kind of stuff to be like more connected with people. It's not like you have to write a letter or do a long distance phone call or
Yeah,
whatever. So I do think that is one advantage. Like,
that's true.
you can have conversations with people, but it isn't the same. I mean, it's just like we know after COVID and everything, it's better to be in person
Mhm.
than remote, but remote is better than nothing. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Remote is better than nothing because I've talked to my sisters probably we talk all day, not even a couple times a
yeah,
day. We talk all day because, we're on Messenger, calling each other or just
yeah.
all day long. So I guess, because we're almost at our time. So how have your interests changed as you grown older? Like, what did you used to be interested in that you're not interested anymore? Like, what's changed your interests?
Well, I became a parent late. Like, I was a step
Mhm.
parent first, which was actually kind of a nice way to ease into parenting. But so my personal story was I was a pretty independent single person. I didn't get married till I was 35.
Mm,
Um, so then it was interesting. So I have noticed now that, again, my son's 16, he's starting to be a lot more independent. He's going to get his license next month. Yada yada. Like, I've kind of lost I willingly did it, but I'm gonna kind of have to work to get back into. I was at Weight Watchers the other day and they're like, what are your hobbies? And I'm like, hmm. So, and I feel like I'm a little old. Like, I'm a
mm,
little, like, it's kind of funny because since I became a parent late and
mhm,
married late, I was always kind of like, well, that stuff doesn't apply to me. And a lot of my friends have been younger because you're friends with your
mhm,
kids' parents and that kind of
yeah,
stuff. And that now at this age, I'm like, oh gosh, it
mhm.
does apply to me. Um, and so I feel like I've got some work to do to kind of find that like stuff I'm interested in again. So
Yeah. Hey Sam, we're talking about how have your interests changed since you've gotten older?
Well, I'd like to do things. I'm more creative now. I didn't realize I had a lot of creativity in me. My wife went to the dollar store and bought some craft projects, and I found myself being creative and doing a lot of craft projects. And wow, my adult kids loved it.
Wow.
I created a lot of creative things, and I've just my interest has changed now. Being more creative, being want to be more off to myself, more patient. Seem like I'm more uh, not willing to get into an argument,
Mm-hmm.
more
Yeah.
willing to listen and
Mm-hmm.
and slow to respond. I'm not looking for a long argument, but looking for solutions. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah, my interest has changed, and even on the job, I look for a deeper meaning on the projects that we're doing, and research other people throughout the country and what they think about, and things that has been done in the past, and really want
Mm-hmm.
to understand people, children, challenges, and other things that may affect behavior. So it seems like I'm digging deeper and not just taking for
Mm-hmm.
granted what folks are saying or what's written down or what's going on.
Yeah.
But I want to see, I need to research a little farther. So my interests of research have increased. I've learned to research more. And yeah, so those things have helped me change and go to the gym more. I like going to the gym more and exercise. Riding my bike and doing stuff now. Yeah, so that's daddy on the bike. Yeah, that's me. That's me on the bike. I'm more on the bike than my kids.
Wow. Wow. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Go ahead, Becky.
Oh, I would say I just want a second. I've noticed with myself kind of what's a second something Sam said. I let things go more now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Just like I'm consciously aware that like, okay, I would have jumped on that a couple of years ago. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a better listener, but I think cafes have really helped me be a better listener.
Yeah.
So and I
Yeah,
appreciate the
definitely.
comments we have in the chat too that people have made about their interests.
Brenda says she's more interested in politics and our history. Cool. Vanessa said we're no longer hustle bustle people. We enjoy outside, chilling, camping, and traveling. Yeah, I think my interest has changed too. Thank you guys. I think my interest has changed where I like road trips now, and I don't mind driving them. Whereas before, my husband would do all the driving and I would sleep as soon as we got in the car. Since I started working for Be Strong and I had to drive more, now I've got, I don't know, road legs or something, and I don't mind. Like, I'm always like, oh, let's do a road trip. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm really ready to go
Wow.
every time, like on a road trip. I don't even have to fly. I can do a trip, in a car and be good and feel good. So that's changed for me. And as I'm getting older and we're empty nesters now and all that stuff, I am trying to find new things to get interested in, new hobbies to do, because like you, Becky, I don't. And I feel like if I did that, I would have more people to hang out with if I found other things to do. But, I have to be intentional about that. So guys, thank you for joining the conversation with me today. We're almost 2 minutes out. We gotta do our closing slides. Andrew, could you guys do me a favor, and please do the poll for us. And I hope you enjoyed today's conversation with us. Do me a favor, drop your amplify. What will you amplify this week? Hashtag amplify aging gracefully. What will you amplify after today's webinar? Hashtag amplify. Remember your passwords. Thanks, Andrew. I need that too. Hashtag amplify aging gracefully. What will you amplify this week, for the rest of this week until we meet again? So drop your amplifiers in there. We'd love to see them. We'd love to, because sometimes we grab these and we use these for other things. So you may see your amplify come up, your hashtag amplify come up someplace else on the Be Strong Families services. So next slide. So today we talked about aging gracefully, and this Friday, the National Parent Team will host a Taste of Cafe, serving hugs when needed, celebrating grandparents. So if you are a grandparent or you had grandparents that you'd like to talk about and share how they've impacted your life and you'd like to be a part of this conversation, feel free to join us. Use the QR code on the screen and you can register today. These have been, I want you guys to know that these cafes have been filling up very quickly. We have to cap them at 30, okay? So if you want to be in, you want to be a part of the conversation, register today. Amplify, remember with love. Love it, Lori. Thank you. Next slide. Remember that we have our webinars next week. So to register for upcoming webinars, you can find this on our page. Yes, if you need certificates, I did see somebody mention these certificates. That's where you go for the certificates today. So go ahead and hit the QR code and it'll take you to our info@bestrongfamilies.net. I just want to say a huge thank you to both Becky and Sam for joining me today. This conversation would not have been the same without you all. I really appreciate you all taking this time with me today and blessing our audience, our viewing audience, with this great conversation. Thanks to everybody who joined us and chimed in, because without those conversations, these wouldn't be so great. So thank you guys. And then again, check out the resource shop on the website. Okay, get your resources. Thanksgiving is coming up and then Christmas is right around the corner. This is the time to start getting those things right now. What else we got, Andrew? Oh, yeah. Before you get off, make sure that you go to our YouTube community and hit subscribe, okay? Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Help us grow our YouTube community. It is growing, guys, and every webinar that you've missed is on our YouTube page, okay? So together, you can find this one and all the others we've done right on our YouTube page, okay? And don't forget to subscribe. Yay! Use the QR code at the bottom of the screen. It'll take you straight there. And then what else we got, Andrew? And that's it. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a blast.
Thank you so much.